Hello, I am Lord Gob, your DM for this campaign. We're going to be playing through a heavily homebrewed version of the Lost Mine at Phandelver-Shattered Obelisk using the new TTRPG DC20. We'll cover the rules along the way, as well as what homebrews we are using. That aside, let us introduce our players, going from the top down in the order you appear on Discord. I want to know, who are you, your name, a little bit about you, who is your character, their name, the description of them, their class and level, and one fun fact about them. So, starting with you, Black Cat.
Sure, yeah, I'm Black Cat. I'm playing Tony Throw. He's a human warlock, level 1. And he likes to throw weapons. That's his thing. He can summon them and throw them. That's awesome.
Okay. Galaxy Fox.
I'm Galaxy Fox. Also go Fox.
Nope. You're dying. Your audio is garbled.
I die.
Try again. Ooh. Good vibes. Good song for the session.
I'm Galaxy Fox. Oh no, that's the fun fact about me. I just randomly the internet makes me. I'm Galaxy Fox or Fox. I sometimes turn into a robot, but I will be playing a level 1 rogue named Mahina, who is a she is very cat. There's adventure or flow.
It's happening again. Oh god.
And almost always gloves. Oh yeah, you don't know weapons uses because she was like if she had weapons.
Alright, I apologize, Fox, but your audio went garbled again. We got your name, class, and level, and nothing else.
I'm playing Mahina, a rogue level 1.
Alright, Beastbone, Catfolk,
It's
who is
still garbled.
Say again?
Am I still?
You're good now.
Wait,
okay, you're good.
Let me fix my sounds.
Maybe. I love this.
Okay, ping, I'm back.
Okay.
This should fix it for the time being.
Hopefully.
It
Mine
did yesterday.
Level one rogue who is a beastborn catfolk. What else?
Yes. Who wears a trencher's gear and a cloak and gloves.
Okay. Jacob, you are up next.
Okay. I am Jaku. I will be playing a level 1 barbarian known as Awake. He is a sentient slime who takes on the form of an seemingly athletic humanoid male. And as you can see from the picture, his head is essentially a blank human head. He fights with many different weapons since he can morph his body and twist and all that stuff. And he's our front line and squishy yet immovable wall.
Brilliant. Okay. And I am Lord Gob, the DM for the forever now. I run in the DC20 West Marches server. I am playing God. Destroyer.
I am playing Spring, a beastborn as well. However, I am a squirrel. Uh, Spring is a level 1 ranger who is very short and only comes up to the hips of an average human. He only wears pants because it is a social requirement.
Nice. We have three shirtless characters here. It's brilliant. Uh,
Oh
okay.
no, he does wear a shirt because shirts have pockets.
I
A
see.
lot of them.
Wait, that's backwards. What? Normally the pants.
Amazing. Does Spring also carry with him a backpack?
No, he just has that many pockets in his shirt and jacket.
I see. Interesting. Jacket of holding. Okay. Uh, so, um, okay. To introduce the setting now, we are playing in as I mentioned earlier, a heavily homebrewed version of the Sword Coast. As we're going to be playing through the Lost Mine of Phandelver campaign. Um, where we are right now we are in the city of Neverwinter, which is kind of the biggest and most popular city on this area of the Sword Coast. It is in other times is a very bustling city that is well known for all kinds of magical artifacts and goods that it trades in, and it is very famously an adventurer's city. However, the air of the at the current evening, the air, the mood, the atmosphere is significantly more dour, as we are just coming off from our heroes participating in defending the city from a monster raid that has happened on the city. Um, just some hours earlier, a mysterious green aurora emerged from the mountains and caused the monsters in the area to go berserk and siege the city. Um, After a long and grueling several hours of just doing their best to try to survive, we reconvene with our heroes gathering together in the biggest bar or the biggest remaining bar in Neverwinter, which locals affectionately just call it the bar because all of the other ones have weird and wacky names. So the one that is a normal name is the one that they frequent the most. Um, so we are going to as we kind of zoom into the room, we can see that there are all kinds of people in one of the few you know buildings that are mostly unscathed due to the efforts of our adventurers to protect the city. Um, there is the sound of crying in the streets and mourning and the toll of the bells as all of the remaining survivors now have to deal with the loss of what's happened just minutes before. Uh, Inside, there are a few guards that are tending to the wounded, and there are civilians that have taken shelter here and fear a second wave. Um, but as time is starting to pass, it seems more and more like the worst of what has happened is over, and now that things are calming down, we reconvene with our heroes all together, huddling in the bar, the kind of heroes of the hour. Um, Although it is not nearly a proud moment for the city. So, what are all of you guys doing? And whenever I just ask a question like that to just moving forward, um, to remove any awkwardness of should I go first, I'm just gonna say we're gonna go from the top down, the order you join Discord, just every time because that's easiest. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So Black Cat, what are you doing?
I'm ordering a drink.
Okay. As you walk up to the bartender, who seems to be a white dragonborn man who is looking exhausted and is kind of muttering to himself about still working during this time, as he serves to you a glass of I'm going to assume that it's ale. What is going through your character's head right now?
Well, so the vibe is pretty depressed, but also I was the one that slayed the queen, so like I'm feeling pretty awesome. Kind of like a hero. And yeah, so I want like a party drink, not like a undepressed drink.
Okay, exciting. Okay, so we have Tony over here in the front, just like he is like, what? Why is everybody sad, guys? Come on, this is a celebration. We're alive. Come on, we gotta get to enjoy the life that we have left. Okay, Galaxy Fox, what is your character doing?
Mahina kind of laughs at Tony's like high spirits. Goes over to Wake. Hey, do you drink? I owe you a thank you for getting me out of there.
You like awake is just holding a bottle of ale as when you go up to him, and he's just like, truth be told, I'm not exactly sure if I do or not. I mean, I guess I can just. And then he takes the bottle and just sticks it in his chest. Yeah, that works.
I see.
I'm not even sure if I like the whole people getting drunk thing. I'm not even sure if I can do that.
It's a miracle that its pounds don't dissolve by the acidic slime.
And
You know what?
But
sorry, continue.
but it's really no problem. I'm always happy to help someone in need. My body is useful for this sort of stuff.
Well, I'm very thankful that it. I'll go over to the bar and order us both one. And I start going over to get a drink. I'll just get two simple ales.
And then as Spring enters, he nervously pats down his pocketed jacket and just, did he grab everything after the fight? And noticing he is missing a few steaks, he looks around the bar for its damaged state.
You know what? How about you make me an awareness check? You said you're looking for a stake, like a weapon, like wooden stakes.
No, that's what he dropped at the fight. He's just looking to see if this bar suffered any damages like the rest, or if it's mostly intact.
Okay, yeah, sure. Make me an awareness check. Which is the DC20 version of perception. It uses whatever your highest attribute is what is used for your awareness. So you can have whatever you want your you can play an intelligence paladin and still have a good perception check. So, case in point, with 24. So as you look around Spring, it seems like since this particular bar is toward the center of the city, where the furthest away from the where the siege of the monsters came from, it seems to be doing mostly okay. It looks like it has been the outside of it has been a little bit battered and assaulted, but perhaps there was a fire that was put out. But it looks like this is one of the few places that managed to avoid most of the turmoil. Probably because there were a lot of adventurers here when the thing started to begin with. Uh, but you can at least take solace in knowing that this place is okay.
He then nods a little comforted and reaches into his jacket pocket to take out a stake blank that he keeps when he to replenish his steak stock. That is a definite tongue twister, and I'm not saying that again.
Yes. Gotta take more
And
stakes out.
then he'll just go sit down and start making a new one to replace any he dropped.
Okay. So just to clarify, when you say steaks, you're talking about like wooden and pointy stabby things, right? Not food.
Yep,
Okay.
vampire flakes.
I'm just making sure. Okay. So, um, as time starts to pass and the beginning hours of daylight starts to emerge on the horizon as you guys are in probably I imagine that anyone that is not words I imagine you guys spend the better part of the remaining hours of the night there, being that homes are probably not looking so great right now, and don't want to think about that. So you guys are just here, either deciding to stay at the inn related to the tavern. Um, Interesting. People just stay at the bar, huh? Yep, that's the thing that they do. So but as the hours start to go by and the immediate impact of the siege starts to wear off, the kind of the shell shockedness goes down, and the general sense of morose that everyone except for Tony has uh, starts to kind of set in. You are all approached by a man that you may or may not recognize. Everybody, make me a history check. And please roll in the roll 20.
Oh, wrong dice.
Yes, ID 120. Very nice.
Surprising low for a 120.
That is a 44 on the analyze feature.
Okay. This is a brilliant way to start off the campaign by me trying to prove it's a statistical anomaly. Galaxy Fox here has a habit of rolling too many nat 20s, so I'm here trying to prove that it's just a coincidence. And to that effect, everyone, please do log your rolls. Sorry? Okay. I'm going to assume that you didn't say anything then, because I didn't hear. So, 18, 9, 24, and 2. Okay, so, you all see before you, let me pull him up, a hardy dwarven man with a very fine black trench coat and a black beard laden with gold beads, a dark cowboy hat, and gold bracelets on his wrists. Um, he seems to be one of the more wealthy people that are in this tavern, as they typically tend to stay. They typically don't tend to mingle with the common folk. Um, those of you who will say rolled above a 10 would know that this man is Gundren Rockseeker. He's a very well-known prospector in these parts, and he is a connoisseur of rare and magical artifacts. And you, Mahina, with that natural 20, this kind of fits, actually, with who your character is. you remember from some of your contacts that you had been speaking to before before coming to the city of Neverwinter, that this man has actually recently come upon a very strange artifact that is that it seems like he is trying to make it not let anyone know that he has it, but in trying to do so, he has kind of made a little bit more of a show that he's hiding something than perhaps he would have liked. You would know, we'll say with your natural 20, that he's also looking to hire a band of adventurers to transport this to another more distant city that is called Phandalin. So, as this hardy dwarven man approaches you guys, you can see he has as he enters the bar, he takes his hat off of his head, kind of places it on his chest, and gives a respectful nod to the people that are already in here, and approaches the group of you guys who are all, I presume, still at the bar part of the tavern, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
There's
Okay.
currently no reason to leave.
Apparently, yes. So,
I'm grabbing a set of cards just to start a game.
nice. Funny. So, I need to try to get into the mind of who this character is so we can speak. Yes. Honey boisterous. Hello there, adventurers, heroes, my compatriots. I have seen the devastation that has been wrought in the tavern and the instrumental role, or not the tavern, on the town, and the instrumental role that you all played in, protecting it. I commend you greatly for your services. And as he says that, he kind of pulls out what we are going to say is your starting gold. As he just hands to each of you individually a sack of 10 gold pieces, which, though, just to give context for the economy, 10 gold pieces is a significant sum of money. It's not like you could probably pay like a month or so's rent with that much money. It's significant, but not astonishing by any means. And he says, "I like to reward those who do good for our city." And he kind of glances around a little bit. I have come to make a proposition to the four of you. Kind of just like counts. We'll have to find the fifth one later. But the four of you here, I have a proposition to make with you. There is an escort mission that I would like to hire you, to do for me. Would you all be amicable to that? And you just ask the group.
I mean, that depends. What are we escorting?
I'll give you more details in a more private location. Meet me at my manor. He says. He kind of pulls out like a little business card. That has on it the location of his house, which is kind of toward the center of the city. Well, more to where. So to give the layout of the city, it is like a circular city that sits kind of nearby a cliff. And there are walls around the outside. And the further you get to the center, the higher the it does not sit on a cliff. It's just on a hill. Is what I meant to say. And the closer you get to the center of the city, the higher the elevation of it is. And his house is like one of the like very tall central buildings that rise from the city of Neverwinter. I'll have an associate out front to welcome you in. He just kind of doesn't know what to say after that. He's just like, I'll trust you to be there. Mr. What is your name? Does he ask Jacko?
I call myself awake. First thought and all that. I don't really.
Understood.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, Awake. And then he kind of just like, we'll move on to the next person, which I'm going to assume is Mahina, because Awake and Mahina were chilling together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you, miss? He asks.
Mm, my name is Mahina. Give me some time to think about it though, but I'm interested. Color me interested.
He smiles a little bit nervously and nods. Oh, all right then. And you, sir, he says, gesturing to what is his name, Tony. Uh, can I trust you to be there tomorrow?
Okay, is good.
All right. And your name, sir?
Tony.
Tony. And lastly, my little friend, as he nods toward Spring.
Spring looks up at him confused. You want to hire us without knowing who we are? Is it just because of what we managed to do now?
Yes, indeed. I am in need of capable hands to protect my escort. I trust that when there is significant gold on the table, my hired hands will can be trusted to complete their mission accordingly.
He whistles to himself softly. You put a lot of trust in your gold.
He gives a kind of a hearty laugh. And just he gives a hearty laugh. And says, "Yes, indeed. I find that there is no better, way to, what would he say? There's no better way to, forge bonds. There's no stronger bond than the bond of gold."
Spring just raises the stake he's working on like it's a glass and says, "Well, I'll be there to listen."
Glorious. Well then, I'm glad that I'm glad to hear that from all of you. Um, I am Mr. Rockseeker, and you can find me, and I will see you all tomorrow. He says as he kind of puts his hat on and begins to walk out of the tavern with a very satisfied look on his face. And as he leaves the tavern, a couple of the other people just around just kind of look at you guys just like curiously. But from there until whenever you would all head to bed, there are no further disturbances. The Dragonborn bartender will stay there until the tavern clears out and people head up the stairs to their rooms or back to their homes. Yeah, what are you all doing in the interim? The sun is getting ready to rise on the horizon. You can see the light of first dawn.
Well, Spring's probably just gonna start counting the coin because he's never been paid this much all at once before.
1, 2, 3, 10, 10, 10, 10. 10 gold is a small number of coins, but they are hefty coins.
Tony's looking around for Michaela and a little concerned that he doesn't see her.
Yeah. And for the listeners at home, Michaela is one of our other players who was busy today. She might be here later. Glancing about, you definitely don't see her. The last time that you did see her, was pretty much at the beginning of the battle. She went off and took a couple of guards, and she went to Spring's the aid of Spring, but you have not seen her at all since.
I guess is that knowledge enough to? That knowledge is probably enough to appease my mind that she's not dead. I don't think I'm that so connected to her that I would go looking for her instead of staying and burning at the bar. I am a hero.
You are a little bit quiet, right? Okay. Okay. I guess. Is there anything? Brain. What else are you guys doing before you head to bed? Or are you guys doing anything else? If not, I will assume that you do just head to bed.
I'm gonna look at everybody and just go. Well, nice opportunity. And I grab my tankards with last ale and go, well, on to teamwork. And before bed, I walk the tavern.
So.
And Spring will just tap his steak against her tankard. Because he doesn't seem to be much of a drinker.
Like, awake will take it a bottle and like tap it against the tankard and then just put it in himself again, and then just like, well, I should probably make sure my weapons and stuff are all good to go. It's a good thing I clean rust by just having them side.
Interesting. That might be something that comes up later.
Spring is gonna make a note of that as he just starts climbing the wall up to the bed area and head off to bed.
Interesting. Climbs up the wall over to the okay. Climbs up the wall to the second floor like a spider. Exciting.
Yep.
I think Tony's gonna stay up late partying.
Okay. In that case, we'll
greets everyone.
Sorry.
Mahina greets everyone, says still tomorrow, walks out and is gonna sit somewhere else, starts writing a letter, and then walks through the city, looking for somebody to send the letter to.
Well, today certainly got interesting, especially after last week or so. Be careful not to get too drunk so you get home, so you get that whole thing like people get. Hey, guy.
He gestures toward Tony.
I'll be fine.
There's a phrase I've heard over the last few years. That's what they all say.
Nice.
Well, if you need me for whatever reason, since you're gonna be joining us there, I'll be in my room.
Okay. As everyone else begins to trickle out of the tavern to their rooms or to their homes or who knows where. We are going to go to Tony actually. First of all, make me a might saving throw, please, as you attempt to drink the night and then the following day. Let's see how much you can stomach.
Might want to grit it, my guy. I'm joking.
All right, 17. High roll. Yeah, we'll say with the 17, you are able. You are indeed just fine. As you spend a significant amount of time. I'm gonna say it's maybe like 5 in the morning. By the time you are done and there's no one else left that's like willing to spend time cheering or whatever, or talking. And then you just kind of like you get another bottle and then just like it's not fine when there's no one else here. And where does Tony go at the end of the night or beginning of the morning?
He's from Neverwinter. Maybe he goes back home.
Okay. So then, as you go back home at this early hour in the morning, make me an awareness check. All right. As you walk through the streets from this location, you can see that glancing around, the damage in the center of the area, as mentioned before, is not quite so bad. I wonder, where would Tony live? Would he be toward the inner ring or the outer ring? Does he live inside the city? Like, where does Tony live?
He's been very successful in treasure hunting, so he probably is closer to the center, higher parts of the city.
Okay. So then,
That said, he might not have a lot of capital, so his money tends to get spent quickly. But he'd probably still be closer to the center. It's a symbol of his wealth and power and fame. So.
okay. Yeah, I kind of like that. So, then in that case, the roll of 13 will represent, in Tony's mind, the damage isn't that bad because you spent most of the battle, at the heart of the city in a location where you can, more easily, abstract yourself from the carnage itself and just like rain down, your weapons like a sniper almost. So, in your mind, the damage the damage is definitely less than it seems like people are making it out to be. And so as you return back to your home, you can see like it looks like it got. You can see like there's it looks like acid burns or something. On over like the front like facade of it, but when you step inside, you can see that it looks actually pretty okay. Actually, and when you fall to sleep, make me a charisma saving throw.
Is my saving throw?
As you return to your ostentatious
You
home.
betcha.
As you return to your ostentatious home. Nice. So, as you start to fall asleep, you find yourself in a dream, one that you recognize. You are in a very wide cave. There is not a lot of light, and what light you do see comes from what lies beneath you, as you are standing at the top of a mountain of gold, a dragon's hoard. Scattered throughout this mountain, you can see a variety of different weapons, ones that you recognize, some that you don't. And all of them seem very powerful. And when you go into this landscape, you know what it symbolizes. You know what is coming. And so you take a deep breath as you hear or rather, you feel, first of all, the immense power and presence of a dragon. Emerging from the darkness in front of you, you can see one very large, kind of like reddish-green eye that stares at you with its vertical pupil that is probably, in itself, larger than you are. What goes through your character's mind as you see your patron before you?
Well, as I finally see the eye, I realize I've been holding my breath and have to like physically force myself to breathe and mentally concentrate on that. But then I guess I'm curious why I'm having this dream.
And as you think that thought, you hear in your mind, actually, not even audibly, the voice of your dragon patron, as he says, "You know, Tony, you spent a lot last night." As you kind of start to recall all of the weapons that you had used. And in your mind, you can see, kind of like visualize, as he, and, you know, as he says that, you can see that pulling out from this massive, dragon's hoard, all kinds of weapons from all sizes and all powers. The ones that you recognize, the very heavy golden cross greatsword and the bone and nunchucks and the dragon lance spear, your favorites among them. As they all kind of like start to shift out from the pile beneath you, you feel the gold start to like sink massively as you like kind of have to like steady yourself. And he says, "Though it was for a good cause, I'm not going to let you off the hook." And he, as he, dangles the weapons above you, "I expect you to pay me back." What do you say?
Have I ever let you down before? I'm kind of slurring my words a little bit too.
You hear a light chuckle, and he says, "No, but you've also never spent this much before." As he, drops one weapon, and then another, and then another, and then another, and with each flink as it sinks down into the pile again, you see the gold like shift a significant amount as he says, "1, 2, 3," and he just starts to count, and he counts for a significant amount of time. Before he says, "What does that amount to? 100, 200 gold?" Are you sure you can pay that back?
I don't know.
And
Of course
as
I
he,
can. I can find any treasure.
as each when you do say that, you see the one weapon that you recognize as being the first one. This cultist-looking dagger with this jagged blade and very um, you know, with jagged blade that seems to be like soaked with blood constantly, and a black handle. As that one kind of starts to hover down and then like right itself before you and it kind of point toward your chest. Good, because I hope you know that should you fall short, and that kind of like presses in a little bit, there will be consequences.
You worry too much.
And you hear him laugh and say, "Well then, I'm just letting you know that you are running out of time. You have 1 month to pay me back."
All right.
Okay? And with that, the dagger goes through your chest, and you wake up kind of like with a start in the morning, as it is now closer to maybe we'll say like afternoon. Being that you went to bed late, anything. Okay. Uh, and as you kind of begin to wake up, we are going to cut to. We'll go with Maya. As you, the previous night, left to go find a courier in the morning, make me an awareness check.
Okay.
Huh?
Did it go through?
Not yet. Let me try refresh. Oh, there it is. Okay.
There you go.
Do make sure to record the the die rolls in the die roll sheet, just because just because. With a 21, Mahina, as you begin to roam the streets, you can definitely more tangibly feel the carnage of the siege the day before. You can see that there are houses that have been demolished as you walk toward the outer ring of the city. You can see that there are houses demolished. There are fires that burn through like a large portion of it that eventually managed to get put out. You can see that there are still even though it is kind of more early in the morning, several hours after the siege, there are still bodies, both human and monster, that are in the streets. And you notice among all of this that these monsters that have sieged the city, though they are monsters and they are, as all monsters are, they are senseless beasts, animals. Um, they, um, sorry, uh, they don't do this kind of thing. Not normally, anyway. Whatever happened last night was an anomaly, and you have dealt with this a lot. So, um, you dealt with monsters a lot, so you are more ever more certain of this. But as you are as you make this connection, does anything what goes through your head?
First looking at everything, she's put up her cloak a bit more and tries just to look at her and look too. And then she starts to think about what happened, the events that happened, and then wondering if somebody did this, if somebody spurred up the monsters, why, for what reason. There are a lot of questions going. Like, what was the reason, why, and what's gonna be the consequence in the end of it all? And did they succeed? Whatever it was they wanted. Because this seemed more like a diversion than anything. In grander scheme of things.
Interesting.
And she's walking and seeing like the people that are still wounded and helping each other, and she's walking past like a brother, a big brother helping their little sister up. She's just gonna look at that, and like tiny tears starts rolling from her eye as she quickly just shakes it off, keeps on moving, keeps on looking for a courier. A trusted courier.
And then not long after that, let me go ahead, pull up the notes. Not long after that, you do find your contact. His name, I am pulling up on my side. He is a halfling man who is known to be known among your circle to be above everything fast. He is never late. But he is a trusted courier, as you said before, and he is just referred to as the messenger in your circles. And you don't find him, but in fact he finds you. As you hold the letter in your hand, and he's kind of like clears his throat behind you, and says, "Hello there, Mahina. Nice to see you again."
Hi. You're good. Didn't see you this time.
He smiles.
So, can I assume you have a message for me if you're here?
Indeed. The master. The master brain. Need to run through here. Right. The master does indeed have a message for you. He said to actually no. He would not receive the message himself, but in fact he would hand you a letter himself. So as he hands you a letter, and then takes from your hand the letter that you have for him, and then just kind of gives you a nice smile, and then walks off into just like walks away very quickly, and says good luck. She
Thank you.
leaves this letter with you.
The less in a while.
Say again?
This must be last time in a while. As she nods.
You see, he looks. It looks like he considers your words and a little confusedly, and then like chokes. Okay, if you say so. And then he says, "Don't take too long. It'll get boring. I'll get bored waiting for you."
I'll bring back entertainment.
Good, good. And with that, he disappears. From there, I guess. Do you read the letter there, or do you go elsewhere?
No, I go elsewhere. I move around a bit, seemingly without any any pattern, just in case. And then I hop into a empty warehouse somewhere, and I start reading it.
Okay. So the first thing you notice is that on it is the seal of your master. It is that of a black widow. Stamped in with red ink as they always are. And opening the letter, you can see that it seems to just be like a cordial address, like hey, how are you, this is what's been going on. But as you begin to read the letter, you can see between the lines what is meant but not said, and the code words that you as a rogue have established to communicate with. And it says, "This is bad. There are other forces acting against us. There are other forces acting against us. You need to act quickly and get into. You need to act quickly, and you need to. I guess you would say secure the bounty. I guess. The prospector. He has come across something powerful, and we must ensure that it falls into the right hands. Your mission is to deliver deliver this bounty to me before your mission is to deliver this bounty to me before the we'll say whatever the code, whatever the time is in this world. But the equivalence is you have about a month before enemy forces will have advanced. Yeah, that is the equivalent of what it says. That is basically what it says.
I'm gonna close the letter, smile to myself, laugh, like you'll be happy with the letter I sent. And then I walk back to the inn and to the guys where I'm gonna see if they're still there so we can all walk there together. If not, I'll walk to the place that he described myself. I'll go back to the inn. Where I'm guessing most of them took the night.
Yeah. I mean,
Also
unless you spent
morning
like the
anyway.
whole night walking, then you have a good bit of time before you're expected to meet him. I would say the expectation was like you guys would have like a day to rest up, and then like the next morning thereafter would be when you would be expected to meet him.
Oh, okay. I'll go back to the inn regardless. If they aren't there and like we have a day, I'll just start when it gets later in the evening. A couple of games straight there.
In that case, roll me a fate die to see how well you play your games. The fate die is a dice with no modifiers that determines what is going to happen. Okay. You win some, you lose some. Not your best hand, but you end up with a little bit more than you had before. When you finish up with your games. Okay. And moving on to Awake and Spring. As you guys kind of turn in for the night, after Mahina has left and Tony is still at the bar, you guys head. I believe you both said you're heading upstairs to the inn, right?
Yep. At least
Okay.
I am. I don't know about Spring.
Yes, he is going to find a room to sleep in.
Okay. As you guys are starting to head to bed, what is going through you guys' minds?
I guess Awake is thinking to himself that it's first people in a while that I would immediately. Yeah, I do feel him. Then he begins thinking about all the people that are probably hurt, that are probably injured and stuff like that, and he's thinking like, I learned a little bit of medicine. Maybe tomorrow, or maybe tomorrow if any accept it, I'll see if I can help him a bit.
Okay. And
And Spring is probably thinking about the cleanup job he'll have to help with tomorrow, since he is one of the local game hunters for food. He will probably be called upon to help get rid of all the bug corpses and animal corpses.
makes sense. Okay, so in that case, we're going to say that you guys are able to have a good enough sleep with everything that has happened, and that when you wake up the next morning, we're going to have a skill challenge to see how well you guys are able to help out around the city, what things you can do, what parts of it you can clean up. Since you guys are going to be more um, active than the other two in the following hours. So, the way that a skill challenge works is every member that is in the current party makes one check per round against a set DC. For every they get one success point if they succeed, and they get five more for every they get one more for every five they roll above the DC. And that will determine how well they're able to do. As you guys awake the next morning, you head over to the, you can see that there are a couple of guards that are starting to set up and get organized. After in the aftermath, you can see the guard captain, whose name is Sildar Hallwinter. You would both recognize him. He is a slender elf clad in paladin armor with long black hair, a kite shield on his back, and a long sword at his hilt. You can see the signs of an experienced warrior in the way that he speaks and he acts and the scars on his body. As he starts directing people around to assist the city. Seeing you guys, he says, "Oh, thank God," and basically like no pleasantries at all. Just like, okay, I need you to go here and do this and go there. So throughout the city, there are kind of three or four main problems that they're having because they are understaffed. He has most of his guards. He has like a couple of guards that are actually like guarding the walls and stuff and making sure that no further damage is done. There are most of the task force is devoted toward helping individual people like out of rubble or treating wounds or search parties, stuff like that. And then there's a smaller number of people that are just trying to kind of clear rubble and stuff out of the streets. And he basically expects you, Spring, to do most as you volunteer for the cleaning task. He expects you and the hunters division of just like the people that are not officially affiliated with the guards that you work with frequently, to deal with any monster parts that you need to get out of the way. So, the DC for this skill challenge is going to be 13. And let's go ahead and begin. So, either Awake or Spring, please make me a skill check.
I am going to
Oh, do we lose Jakku?
I think he accidentally muted himself.
have her just make sure that since it's been a few days, make sure none are getting infected.
I caught the end of that, but not the beginning. You bugged out for a second.
I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna use medicine to make sure that people at the very least their wounds aren't beginning to get infected or anything.
Makes sense. In that case, make me a medicine check as you attempt to do what you can, assist with the guards. With a 14, that is indeed one success. As you spend the next couple of hours with your slime body, I imagine just like using the poison of your slime body to counteract any any venoms that are making people causing people pain. And the guards are disturbed by your methods, but it works, I guess. So with a 14, that'd be one success point. Spring.
Spring will probably try find someone who has a list of the creatures that are meant to be cleaned up and just do a quick look over to see which of them could be turned into meat for the butchers and just anything useful to harvest first.
That sounds like a survival check to me. Nice. With the 20, that is 5 above the DC. So as you spend the first couple of hours going about mainly focusing on the monsters that are more analogous to cattle, as opposed to like rock monsters or insectoids that aren't going to be good for food. You do notice that a significant portion of the enemies, the monsters that have that did raid this place, seem to be your old nemesis, that the insectoid beasts that kind of roam the forests. Again, at this point, it would definitely click with you that these things are solitary animals. So for them to assault at all is abnormal, and for them to assault in a horde is even more so. But all right. You are able to get a good portion of the the largest things out of the way, get the main roads clear. And from this, whatever food was lost during the siege, you made up a good portion of it by handing it off to the butchers. All right, so that would be like the round one, as you spend your first couple of hours. When as the day kind of starts to go by and more of the civilians have been treated and are going back to their homes and starting to look around, you guys report back to Sildar Homewinter, the general, or the guard captain, who appreciates your efforts, and then from there the things that remain are mainly rebuilding the outside walls, and more clearing things out from the streets. So with a total of 3 success points thus far. What do you guys do next?
Spring will just try and find a cart or something. Probably not a big cart, closer to a wheelbarrow. And just start doing some of the heavy lifting that is needed. He probably won't do too well or too much,
Oh.
but he'll do what he can.
In that case, make me an athletics check as you begin to clear rubble out of the way. And as he's doing that, Awake, what are you doing?
Well, I was probably also going to do athletics. Crap.
Repeated checks have disadvantage.
Yeah, you know what? I'll try because like Awake is the strongest of one of some of the strongest of us.
Okay.
2d20. 2d20 KL1 plus 5. On baby. 9.
Okay. So between the two of you, as you band together to attempt to clear the rubble out of clear the rubble out of the streets. You guys have been working for a while, and you start to get tired. And you guys are able to. Your help is not insignificant. But beyond that point, it starts to. You. Let's see. Let me roll something behind the scenes. To see what happens next.
And probably with that natural one, Spring probably has some bug guts that he just can't get off his hand, and he keeps losing the grip on the wheelbarrow.
The wheelbarrow spills over, and you have to pick it all back up and put it inside, and it spills over again. And you're just like, oh, damn it.
Yep. And then he picks it up individually and probably drops on his toes a few times.
Okay. And then, Awake. As you are helping Spring with moving rubble out of the city more, just dishing it pretty much outside the gates. You find something that is just kind of glinting in, or rather, you catch a glint in your eye, or I guess however it is that you sense it. There is an interesting object that is just kind of stuck in between, like a rock pile nearby the edge of the city.
I will go investigate it.
Okay. I'm gonna assume that means you're going to try to get it out, right?
Yes.
Okay. I just how do you want to investigate this? So, upon uncovering, yep, thank you, Spring. Well, my internet is bugging out. Upon uncovering it, you see what looks to be there's almost like an arrowhead or something. That is made out of some kind of golden thing. You can see there's green text that's written across one of the sides in a language that I don't think you can understand. What language do you know, Awake?
Common and Elven.
Then you don't recognize this, as there's just it seems to be it's in a language that you don't understand. It seems to be a very fine make and a very with very precise etchings in it.
Even though I don't know the language, can I potentially work out what it is?
Make me an intelligence check. That's it.
10.
Let me see. I don't think that's going to fly, but let me double check. You think back on all of the languages that you do know, or that you have, you do recognize, I guess. The more normal human languages, or humanoid languages. But as you think, so Dwarvish is more blocky. Halfling is more italicized, and you like them. No, can't be that. It can't be that. You rule out basically all the normal languages, we'll say. The ones that you've encountered since your awakening, and the one that most of your acquaintances speak. But best as you can tell, that does not seem to be any that you know of.
Okay, so I guess for now I'll put this in my pack. Just this is a what is this? This is a piece of metal
Yes,
with
it is
writing on it. A what?
an arrowhead.
Okay. Okay. Arrowhead with strange
Okay.
language. There we go.
And as the day kind of starts to come to a close, you are thanked for your efforts, and we'll say that with your 3 success points, you get a total of 3 golds to share between you two. And with that, your mandated work time comes to an end. Is there anything that you guys choose to do before the day is over and you are to meet up with Mr. Rockseeker? Based on the silence, I'm going to assume that means no.
Yeah, I mean, I just assumed we were going to go.
Well, the expectation is you have like a day to rest, relax, get yourselves together before you were given the mission.
I suppose Spring would go to the butcher that he usually sells to and just let them know that he might be away on a job for the next however long. So just make other arrangements if you really need the meat.
Thank you for letting him know, and he's like a little bit sad that he won't be seeing you, but he's like, okay, fine. See you later then. He gives a cordial goodbye. Okay. So then, do all of you guys arrive at the Rockseeker Manor together or separate?
I know Mahina wanted to go together.
Yep.
Yep, Spring would go with them since they were all hired together.
Okay.
Are we meeting back up at the bar?
Yes. Surely. So the day after the siege, you guys all meet up together at the bar, at your appointed time, and then arrive at Rockseeker Manor. Everybody making an awareness check.
That was a 16.
Alright, 16. Okay, so 21.
No, I rolled a 21 total.
5
But yeah.
and 10. Okay, so then, we are going to go in the order of what you do not see to what you do see from the bottom to top. As you approach Rockseeker Manor, you see that it's kind of toward the higher part of the main hill that that the city of Neverwinter rests upon. The first thing you notice is that he has a very big yard with a very big yard, and tied to the fence outside, or tied to the fence kind of in front of the manor. There is a couple of horses that that seems to point to the fact that there are other visitors here today. Okay. Passing by the fence, you can see the manor itself is very elaborate and large, with complete with gold highlights and fancy gargoyles. And it seems to be right. So from bottom to top, Tony, as you are approaching this place, you are more distracted by like, oh my goodness, I'm going to get rich from this. This guy, it seems like he has a lot of money. People don't just put gold on their buildings. It is not as what's the word, as plentiful a resource. It is not that plentiful of a resource. So you're just like mostly excited about that. Spring, you would I think the thing that would catch your eye the most would be the fact that there are other visitors here today. And he did not. He mentioned looking for one other person, but there's like a good 6 or 7 other horses. And then we'll go with Awake and then Mahina. So Awake, you can see that on the front of the manor, kind of more higher up, you can see that there is a depiction of the brothers Rockseeker, in kind of 3 stained glass descriptions, or I guess 3 stained glass paintings of them. Whatever the correct word for that is. On the left is Nundro Rockseeker, who is a dwarf dressed in explorer's gear. He carries a pack with him and a variety of maps. On the right is Tharden Rockseeker, a clean-shaven dwarf who seems to be wielding lightning magic. And in the center is Gundren Rockseeker, who in this depiction of him is wearing fine clothes outfitted with jewels. And then above each of them in the center is the family crest, a pair of crossed pickaxes over a minecart. And I would say that both Awake and Mahina notice this. Stepping inside, you can see that there is a very large kind of opening area with like 2 staircases that lead up to the front, and you can see kind of in the a little bit on the second floor, a little bit of ways down the hallway, you can hear your contractor Gundren Rockseeker talking to what looks to be Silbar Homelander. They seem to be having a tense discussion. How do you proceed?
Well, Black Cat, you go first.
Always.
I want to go last.
Okay. In that case, Galaxy Fox,
I'm a little slow from all the drinking and partying, so
I wonder who could have warned you about that.
Brilliant.
slow, not hungover.
Synonyms.
Alright, so Galaxy Fox, what is Mahina doing?
just gonna walk forward, just politely go, good day, and then just waits a little bit until everybody else like moves in or somebody talks to her.
Okay.
She just said what needs to be said more.
Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, no. Well, awake just like goes in as just like, So I mean, like, do I just choose somewhere to sit while waiting for him? I don't know. This
This is concerned.
is a not nice place.
Certainly. Well.
And Spring probably just looks around and maybe tries to listen into any discussions that may be happening before they get accepted in.
Lastly, Tony.
And Tony will he wants to inspect all the gold trinkets and whatever things. I don't know if you said the gargoyles were gold, but the fences and stuff.
Okay. Sure. In that case, Tony, make me an investigation check. Let's see what we can do.
That is intelligence, right?
That is intelligence. I think.
Let me roll another 2 for you. Oh, never mind.
This is fun. It seems like my internet has crashed and the browsers aren't allowed. That's not good. You know what? Since we are coming up on our break time anyway, let's take a break here, come back soon, and hope that my internet has recovered, by then. Alright, we are back now with a new player added to our midst. Mr. Samaran, sir, please, give us a little bit about you, and then your character.
You mean about me?
I mean, it's just one fun fact about you, sir.
I really like agility charisma characters, so I'm playing one today, and that is Michaela Dunnett's group. She is half elf, half dragonborn, and is a level 1 rogue. And her whole thing is that she is a blade for hire.
Okay. So then, that's where we'll start then. Kind of retconning you back into what we've already established about what happened after the raid. Wherein we'll say that since you and our buddy Tony are closer than the rest of the party, or closer to each other than the rest of the party, you joined him for a little bit when he was very much not getting the mood. When everyone else was kind of mourning, he was kind of partying by himself mostly at the bar, the kind of only one with a normal name, and that is to say that it has no name, so people just call it the bar. You joined him there, partied for a little bit, celebrated with him, probably being pretty much the only one there who was willing to celebrate with him. And then after that, you headed home, and on the way out, you met with a very fancy-looking prospector dwarven man who wears like a black trench coat and a black hat, and he's got a black beard with all of it accented with golden bracelets and little beads in his beard. And he offers you a chance to well, first of all, he rewards you for the service that you did to the city, giving you 10 gold as your starting gold. and then offers to pay you significantly more if you are willing to. Oh, and for context, 10 gold is like the effectively, a month's rent or so, maybe a month or two. So it's a significant amount, just but it's not it's significant, but it's not astronomical. And he promises to pay you a more hefty sum should you participate in an escort quest that he is planning on carrying out from Neverwinter to Phandalin. And should your character be interested in this quest, which one would assume they are, being that that is the point of this campaign, to meet him at his manor the following morning. And that is about where we are right now. Make me an awareness check as you. We'll say that you arrived before everybody else and are already inside.
Hey, 13?
With a 13, as you approach this glamorous manor with kind of in the center of the city, at the top of the hill, as this city of Neverwinter is situated on a hill, with all the main buildings or all the more wealthy buildings are kind of in the center. So, you arrive there and see this manor, this with these gold accents, and with your 13, we will say you, as you kind of look up, you notice there are three kind of portraits made of stained glass in the front of the manor. What each of them modeled after one of the three Rockseeker brothers. On the left is Nundro Rockseeker, who is an explorer. On the right is Tharden Rockseeker, who is a clean-shaven dwarf who appears to be wielding a lightning magic. And in the center is the contractor Gundren Rockseeker, who in this who wears a very fancy outfit lined with jewels. And above each of them, or above in the center, you can see the family crest, a pair of crossed pickaxes over a minecart. And as you kind of see this before you, and you step inside, since you're arriving earlier than everybody else, inside there is a very large opening, like foyer with two spiral staircases that go up to the second floor. And there's like an empty hallway down that way. And you can see that there is there are thinking there's like portraits of past members of the Rockseeker family, portraits along the walls, and a couple of neat trinkets that are like on tables in the front of this place. But the manor does seem surprisingly empty at this point in time. So what do you do?
So are the Darkseekers actually there, or was it portraits that didn't catch that?
It was the portraits that you saw.
Got it. Alright, she would probably just go down the hallway, because I can't believe she would think that whatever meeting this is going to be on a different story. Just looking for the employer.
Okay. As you walk down the hall, the kind of main hall on the first floor, you can see that on either side there are a variety, or there are like kind of like staggered doorways that seem to be of kind of expensive like oak wood. And as you are kind of just like walking down the hallway, at the very toward the end of the hallway, you start to hear what sounds like bickering, like an argument that's happening. between you recognize the voice of Gundren Rockseeker, who is your contractor, and there's someone else who seems to be displeased with him. What do you do?
Does she know that she's early?
She can be, yeah.
Alright, she would then probably just eavesdrop.
Just eavesdrop, okay. In that case, make me a stealth check.
Doo-doo. Natural 27.
Brilliant. Nice. Michaela,
She's
you
in the room.
Right, you just like open the door and like just slide behind a bookshelf. Uh, um, so listening into the conversation, you hear Gundren, kind of in the middle of talking. If my brother's right, it will change everything, Sildar. For Phandalin, for the Rockseeker name, for the whole of the Sword Coast. I remain unconvinced. This other person says he seems to be a taller elven man wearing paladin armor and with long black hair. Your optimism will surely lead to disappointment. Generations of miners and explorers have tried to locate it, and come back empty-handed, if at all. You're missing the point. He found a map, a real one, signed by the Tressenders. He taps the other man on the chest with the back of his hand, like smacking him. Seriously, the elven man stares back at him. All right. Look, I'll just take the business risk and fund the expedition. You can keep me safe. Sound good, buddy? It is acceptable, but I must stress again. You are kind of like thinks for a second. Going to be disappointed. I'm sure of that. And he just kind of like brushes him off, like, whatever. And after that, the conversation kind of starts to wind down. And then they leave the room as you are still there in this library-like place. Do you do anything more here?
Just look around, what's in this library-like place?
Okay. Is there anything in specific that you were looking for?
I am now looking in specific for this map, signed by the Tressenders.
Okay. In that case, make me an investigation check as you look about the library. While you roll, I will describe the area. This library is reasonably it's like of a reasonable size in this mansion. You get the idea that it takes up a significant portion of the first floor, but it is only one story. There are a couple of rows of books, kind of lining the walls and filling the center. And there's a quite reading area in the center. Most of the books seem to be about either magic items or magic or the history of the town, or just history in general, I suppose. And there are a couple of them that don't seem to interest you that are more about like or I assume don't interest you. That are more about like I guess strategies for how to appraise jewels. But with a 5 on your investigation roll, I'm going to say that is not enough. And you are unable to discover where the map is, but you get the sense that you look at a couple of places. You actually manage to find like a secret compartment under one of the like inside one of the bookcases, it has like it has like the equivalent of like a maybe a gold piece in worth. It's like something that was stashed there, and then probably forgotten about, honestly. But you feel like you're pretty confident with your ability, with how well you search through the place. You are very sneaky. No one finds you. You spend a good amount of time. If he has it, he either has it with him or is storing it in a more secure location.
Got it. Then she'll just read one of these history books until the rest of the party gets here.
Okay.
And, if the dwarf comes in, she's gonna play it off as, oh, you missed me.
Okay. You know, make me a history check. See what you can glean. Alright. We shall say that you would learn the name of, you learn that the city of, I guess actually let's go ahead and shift over to the main world map. And say what you see. Alright, so, you are over there, kind of in the center of the map in Neverwinter. And I would say that, you hear of the initial, kind of founding of these, all of these cities, with Neverwinter being kind of the first colony that was set up on this far, south of the main kingdom. Uh, and it was served as kind of like the hub of operations because it was served as a good place to make port, and thus it was more useful. Or rather, this place served as a very good port and was thus allowed to. That's where they set down. Anyways, nearby, there is a more ancient town of Thunder Tree that was there before Neverwinter was erected, but it does not. But based on your understanding, it seems like it was more like an abandoned city, kind of like what's the place like Roanoke, the Roanoke colony. That is the vibe you get when you read about Thunder Tree. And then Phandalin, closer to the mountains, was once a more prosperous mining town, but it has since kind of fallen to the wayside when it's lost access to some of the mines that were more. There was a cave in that caused them to lose kind of like their main gold mine, and after that they kind of started to fall out of prominence. And that's about all you're able to read about before the rest of the group gets there, and you start to hear talking outside. So we'll go back to the static page. So back to the static page. Well, maybe it would be funny if that I was scrolled in the bottom left corner of the screen and was not actually doing what I thought I was doing. Oh my god. Okay. So the five of you now gathered together in the kind of main hall of the area, as you start your talking. You can see that your compatriots during the battle, Tony, Mahina, Awake, and Spring, are all kind of walking with him down the hallway, as he seems to be talking to them about something else, or about the quest. And that's at that point is when you join the party. So, thus concludes the retconning of getting Michaela into the campaign. So, cutting back to all of you guys while she's reading her book. You all found yourselves in the kind of opening foyer, this helix room with the trinkets all along the walls, or all along on like tables that are kind of set out to showcase the wealth of this man, and the portraits that's enumerate countless members of the Rockseeker line. I believe you rolled a 13 on investigation, Tony, to try to appraise some of them, right?
Investigation, no. But
No.
wait, I rolled a 13? Unless we're drafting now.
You made an investigation check before we took a break.
I did make an investigation check. Right.
Do you remember what that check was? I think you rolled a net one after that. Yeah. So I think you rolled a 14. Does that sound right?
I honestly have no idea.
Okay, we'll take a 14.
It was around 13.
Okay. In that case, what is your goal with this? Are you just trying to like guess at how wealthy he might be, or are you trying to steal something? What are you trying to do?
Yeah, both.
Both?
Like try to figure out like if it's worth a lot and there's a lot of them, would they notice that it's missing?
Okay. With
Could
a
I play with a look-alike big kind of thing?
Okay. I would say with a 14, you can reasonably guess that these are kind of more expensive jewels. You might value them at probably equal to we'll say like maybe 15 gold pieces. They're all of them like kind of works of art. You don't know really whether or not he would care if they were lost, but they definitely seem expensive.
Now, would I be able to sell them? Like, are they like unique, one of a kind pieces that if they were stolen, they would be. It would be very obvious that I stole them when I tried to sell them, or are they kind of just like.
Being that you've never heard of this guy before with your bad history roll earlier, I will say that you'd guess that even if they were, it doesn't seem like he sells his art pieces. Like he's not known for this at all.
Right. Okay. I definitely would try to take it then and see what happens.
Just take one of the
I mean, obviously stealthily and maybe swap it with something else that looks similar.
All right. In that case,
just
make me a trickery check.
Sorry, history?
Trickery.
Trickery. Okay.
All right.
First trickery roll, not made by a rogue.
Hell yeah. Trickery is DC20 stand-in for sleight of hand. So as he's doing that, the four of you are kind of gathered together, and hell yeah, you feel confident with the fake that you put in place. The four of you who are not stealing see this man Gundren Rockseeker descending the stairs as he is talking to that elven man from before. Some among you would recognize him as Sildar Howlwinter, the guard captain of the area. And as he descends the stairs, he's like, "Welcome, adventurers! Good to see you. And he's starts to introduce himself and the place that you're in, and he's like, I am Gundren Rockseeker, heir to the Rockseeker line, and he starts to go off about how they are wealthy, how they are very successful prospectors of the region. And then he kind of stops himself. But we're not here to talk about me. We are here to talk about you. There is much to discuss, so let me take you to our meeting room. But do you all know each other? Have you met before? I know adventurers tend to be kind of haphazard, or spontaneous. Have you met before?
I'm at Spring here, once outside the city. The rest of these guys, I kind of met while the attack was happening. I'm not sure about the rest, but that's me at least.
Not in agreement to the statement from Michaela.
All right then. Since y'all
First time working with these guys.
All right. Well, if you're all first time people working together, then I guess y'all should. If you all are first time people working together, then I'm glad to facilitate this first meeting between all of you, and perhaps you might become a group or something moving forward. As I found, typically the most successful adventures are those that are between a tight knit groups. And he starts to kind of lead you guys back to down one of the many hallways. And he takes you to a one of the rooms, and he just kind of like opens it, and invites you all in. And in the inside of this room is made of wood and seems to be soundproof too. A single desk. The desk lies on one end with four chairs. There are five of us with 5 chairs opposite it. And there are papers sprawled across the desk haphazardly. A single dim light hangs from the ceiling. It looks a little bit sketchy, frankly speaking. And he's just like, don't mind the mess, just take a seat. Sildar. And he gestures to the elf paladin. Do me a favor, wait outside. And he just kind of like scoffs and obliges. And then he stands in front of the desk, waiting for you guys to take your seats.
Once the door is closed by the elf, Spring curiously is gonna test the soundproofing by letting out a loud whoop. If the elf comes back in confused.
I'm gonna roll a d20 and we'll see what happens. I'm gonna say that while the elf does not come in, you see Gundren just kind of say, excuse me.
Well, while he is distracted, Mahina is gonna move over a little bit and gonna look at papers on the desk. Just to get a glimpse what this might all be about.
Make me an investigation check.
What's this guy into?
And Anoakel Child, I appreciate the hospitality, I really do. But if I forget, if sitting down in a chair, I don't want that.
He seems a little bit like, I should have thought of that. Sorry then, Mr. Awake.
Oh no, it's no problem. I just thought to tell you, it's not.
Also, were they confused about what I did, or the fact that I actually did it so loudly?
Both. The elf did not come back in the room, but Gundren just like Are you okay? Excuse me? Something wrong?
Spring will just shake its head and slowly walk to a seat and sit down.
Alright. With your 8 on Investigation Mahina, as you quickly glance over the papers, what languages do you know?
Common and undercommon. And thieves can't.
As you glance at the papers, you don't recognize what script it is in. I would say that... So you don't recognize what script it is in. What would you recognize about it? You see... So you can't really read any of the script, but you do see a diagram of something that looks like a dig site or an archaeological site. And one like weird rock with a bunch of engravings in it. That is like it looks like probably the only thing that is like drawn by hand. Like there are a couple of like sketches and stuff, but there's a greater amount of detail put into drawing this rock that seems to have like these glowing green runes on it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So then, as he kind of starts to, he stands in front of the desk, and kind of places his hands on it, and begins to speak. So, adventurers, I've gathered you all here today to discuss an escort mission. There are some goods I need taken over down a little ways to the town of Phandalin. My brothers and I have found something big, and it's going to require a good amount of high quality equipment first of all, but also a little bit more intense stuff. As he pulls out what looks to be a red cylinder with a black fuse attached to the end of it. These are one of our first-rate explosives, and he lifts it up and like he like tosses it up in the air and then catches it. They pack a big punch. I wouldn't want these things, falling into the wrong hands along the way. So I'm hiring special hands to take my stuff down over to Phandalin. And he kind of just like sets it on the table.
How rare and state of the art are explosives? I don't think we got that far.
You would make me a history check actually. See if you know. I would say you would just like by default you know that it's not something that common people have access to. With an 18, mundane means of producing explosives are pretty much unheard of. Most things that explode are fire magic, and require they require a spellcaster to be the one that is doing that is using it. So for there to be an explosive that it's as he is insinuating, for there to be an explosive that can just that can be used by a mundane mean is what's the word? Used by mundane mean and also stored for a significant amount of time is pretty unheard of.
So like you're telling me that little contraption can make the same boom as the balls of fire, like
Pretty damn near close. I'm not sure if they're quite as good, but they definitely get a run for its money.
I've seen a couple fireballs up close. some people I used to know were able to do them. It was impressive magic. The fact that you figured out a way to do that without mundanely, like, the closest thing I've ever heard of is those balls of not balls, bottles of fire that alchemists know.
He kind of chuckles. This is way more than that. And I spring as you carefully reach for it. He's like, he grabs the thing and like pulls it away from you and is like, careful now. This thing in itself could level the entire building. So, granted, I don't think any of you have any fire. He stares at awake, but it is not to be trifled with. And he kind of just like sets it on the table. So, there's going to be a couple of these that are going to be transported. Under no circumstances are you to disclose anything you hear or learn about until the job is done. While you are... Is that understood? He just like looks around.
No, that makes no sense.
That does...
Close things that we hear while we're working?
I'm about to share with you some secrets about the operations that are going to be up and coming, and I don't want any of our competitors figuring out anything about it. If so much as a whiff, is disclosed, then you will not be paid.
How are you gonna? If something does leak, even by an accident that you make, how are you gonna prove? How are you gonna prove that it was us or not?
He pulls out a couple of papers. My brother is skilled with the quill. As he kind of pulls out a couple of contracts. That actually, Tony, make me an Arcana check.
Right. Arcana, intelligence, of course.
Naturally.
On top of my really low rolls.
It seems like it's enchanted.
Will be neat.
You're not sure by what, but it seems enchanted. There's just like an aura about it that pings on your radar. That in a way that nothing else in this manor has thus far. I guess you would, applying that in retcon a little bit, you would also know that the thing that the necklace that you took from the stand outside also seems to have some kind of enchantment to it. You're not sure what it is, but it seems enchanted in some way also. So, as he kind of hands out the papers, and then he like is about to hand one to Awake, and there's like, actually no, I'll just leave that here. He places it on the table. Trust me when I say there are assurances.
Just for future reference, I can not destroy stuff. It takes focus. I could hold that, but if the reason I was not sitting in the chair is because if I forgot, then that could happen. I can turn off the acidity if I saw.
I see. All right. Well, these are the contracts, and you can see all the terms laid out in it with like fine print and stuff. So under no circumstances can you disclose anything you hear or learn about until the job is done. This is highly sensitive information. The only reason I am trusting you guys is because I know that you all know the value of gold. I gave you all 10 gold last night, as out of the good will of my heart. But I'm willing to provide an additional 100 gold pieces. And he as he pulls out like a sack that like clinks on the table for each of you, should you conclude the mission successfully. Which is a significant sum of money. So I assume you understand the value I'm placing in this caravan. The caravan is to
I
be
have a
protected at all
question.
costs. Yes, madam.
Mr. Rockseeker.
Yes.
What in case a situation occurs in which completing this mission is impossible? How is the contract gonna take effect? Are we still prohibited from talking about anything?
In such a way that completing the mission is impossible.
Mhm.
Should you lose possession of this, well, I guess, I suppose if the mission ends up being a failure, then I can't proceed with any of my plans anyway. So I'm not going to tell you that you should disclose anything. But should the mission end up being a failure, the contract becomes no longer binding. But also, he takes the gold sack off the table. So is your payment.
I mean, clearly, because we felt in what we'd been asked. Okay.
Naturally.
I've learned if there's one thing. I've learned one thing in my few years. You ask for at least half up front with this sort of thing. So that's what I'm doing.
He chuckles. Make me an influence check.
Okay, let me find my influence. That is a plus. You know I'm hero pointing that.
Nice. Hero point is a homebrew roll wherein you can re-roll any die.
Dirty 20.
Nice.
Ooh,
With a dirty 20, you see him kind of chuckle. I do like a good businessman, but he takes from the sack. 50 pieces is a lot of gold, though. How about this? I've got 100 gold with me right here. 100 gold for each of you is a bit expensive, but 100 gold for the lot of you up front, with another 20 for each of you right now, and then 80 should you complete the mission. Is that
That's acceptable to me, at least. I don't know about.
He looks at the rest of you.
That should provide for the trip there? Okay.
Certainly.
Spring would like to try and remember what the travel path to Phandalin is like, both roadworthy state and how often bandits happen and stuff like that, just to see how likely the explosives being set off by something they can't control.
Make me a history check.
I might also hero point that.
Fun.
Yeah.
Given that this guy appears to be extremely well loaded, extremely rich, I want to call BS on that. I think he can totally afford to pay us 50% up front.
Interesting. With your
Say this, I'm going to persuade him and say, like, you really want this to be done, right? You really want us to do this. We are the best heroes of the town. It's worth paying us half up front. Trust me on this.
Yeah,
You
sure.
can afford it.
Go ahead and make me another influence check. We'll consider both of these in tandem. But you see that he does seem kind of a little bit like a little bit like iffy about that. With an 18 spring, you would know, especially being that you are a ranger, and this is kind of your domain. You would know that while raids aren't, you know that raids are kind of common. Under a trip that this would be in maybe 13 to 14 days, full 2 weeks. You it is reasonable for you to expect that you're going to be attacked at least once, maybe a couple times. If you are seen as particularly valuable targets. You gather that based on what he's saying, a mining shipment might not be, might not appear to be, but it's not unreasonable that you might get in a couple of scraps along the way. There are bandits and there are monsters and there are just general creatures of the wild that you might come across. Also with an 18, I will say, the thing you are most concerned about is that nearby Phandalin, there is a established goblin tribe called the Cragmaw Goblins, named as such because they are known to sharpen their teeth, like literally it's like using rocks, and bite people. Uh, they are like kind of feral almost. Their hideout is very close to Phandalin, and they're known to just like be general nuisances. That's one of the reasons that trade with Phandalin has kind of decreased over the years, just because it's been difficult. And yeah, with your 17,
This might be pushing it, but
17.
would the 18 also help me know if this dude has any rivals or business enemies that maybe sabotage us?
let's see.
I mean, he's asking for protection with a reason.
Yeah, I mean,
Probably.
obviously there's a reason. But if you wanted like a name, I will say, you would know, of a couple of the high society, rumors and fights that you're gonna hear about because of how ridiculous things get in whenever people are having like noble balls or stuff. Um, you have heard that there is a feud between the Rockseeker family, and the Threepwood family. They are. So the Rock Seekers are miners, and they have magic items and stuff, and that's what they mostly deal in, the creation and selling of magic items. Um, on the side of their prospector, it's kind of like they used to be a prospecting family that is used their wealth to become the sellers of magic items. Um, and the Threepwood family are they kind of represent more of like the collective people. They are mainly like lumberjacks, and they deal with you're a ranger, so that they deal a lot with managing the forest and the beasts in it and stuff like that. And they are mostly fighting on like but mostly feuding on like ethical terms. Um, like the Threepwood family is not like the obscene gathering of wealth that the Rockseekers do, pretty much at the expense of their workers. Um, so you don't know if they would fight if they would like assault a caravan about it. Um, but the relationships between the two families are not very good.
Okay, cool.
It looks like that doesn't work when I try to roll it silent.
I rolled a 17.
You rolled a 17. With that, 17 and the 20 from before, and the fact that you are a well-known treasure hunter in the area, you see him kind of like look a little bit like, fine. As he says, I didn't bring more gold with me. But in the front of the manor, there are a variety of items. You can take. Look, I'll be generous, right? I'll put my good foot forward. I trust in the heroes of Neverwinter, right? It sounds like he's saying that to himself more than he is to you. You all can take one one of my relics. But no more than that. That is, I'm putting a steep price on you should you fail the mission at all, and get killed or something. That is going to be a big cost on my part. So,
I mean, not really. I mean, good sir, you know the path we're gonna take because you're gonna tell us where to go. So if we would not return within a certain time limit, you would know on what path to lead.
yeah, I mean, that's sure, good and all, but, suffice it to say, if you don't make it here, I'm pretty sure that the goods will be lost along the way. Anyways, he pulls out a map from
We'll make sure
the
that does not happen.
Thank you. I appreciate that. As he pulls out a map from the table and kind of just pins it to the wall. We are up here in Neverwinter. Your goal is to go down here in Phandalin. I'm going to be leaving right in about 3 hours. I need to take care of some business there. I have a I'll be taking Sildar with me, the elf gentleman out front, as my bodyguard. There was a complication that came up not long ago I need to take care of. I expect all of you, being that you're going to be dealing with the cart and more of my workers, it'll be slower than I will, of course, with my being that there's only 2 of us. It's about 2-week journey by horse or by foot. So I should be there maybe in a week or so. I expect all of you guys to be there at least by 2 weeks. Is that understood?
That's all right.
With the equipment I'm supplying you, you should have maybe 4 days of leeway. Should we arrive earlier than expected, I might be convinced, as he like locks eyes with Tony. I might be convinced to reward you for your timely arrival.
Very well.
He takes a deep sigh.
Michaela,
Well, wait a minute. If you're going to Phandalin yourself in about an hour, why not take the cart yourself and hire some extra bodyguards for that? Unless are
Time.
you expecting to get attacked on the way or
Time.
something?
I don't have time. I need to be there soon. The cart's gonna take longer than that. I'm hiring you to make up for that. I mean, you saw the raid that happened on Neverwinter. It's clearly not safe here. So, you know, the source of the aurora was from the Sword Mountains, over in the southeast. I'm concerned about the stability of my assets down there.
I am going to roll my. I'm going to roll die to see if awake with questions.
Feel free
Oh,
to.
Oh, you would.
Can I
Like
can I
first person.
roll? Can I roll insight on that one?
I guess. What would you be using to check him? Like, how are you rolling your insight? I guess.
Just been checking him out, and he's been a smooth talker up until like he has to actually give a reason. Like his reason is like boss assets. He's as fake as possible, and something there is weird.
Sure, that seems like a reasonable suspicion. Make
picked up on that too.
your insight check.
Wait a minute. You know what caused that aurora, didn't you?
Okay. He looks at you with a look of like as though he's offended. I'd like all three of you guys to make me insight checks to immediately doubt him. He's like, excuse me.
Not 20!
Oh,
Wow, okay.
Yeah, we'll trust.
Never trust a rich man. Okay. Wow. That's amazing. Okay. Please do, everyone, be logging your rolls in the Google Doc. Nice. Let me think.
Surely the dwarf isn't making up.
Surely not, huh? I would say, as you guys all kind of in unison, like, question him, you notice that he kind of like looks uncomfortable, and is like maybe sweating a little bit, and says, "I don't know what caused the aurora, but he's like really looking for an excuse as he kind of fully breaks eye contact, and then takes a deep breath, and then he says, "But I know who caused it." As he gives you a name, he like takes a deep breath and is like, "I'll be honest with you. I fully expect that, damn, where is his name? I think his name, I want to say his name is Malachi, but I'm not sure of that. So, where is he? Damn it. No. Right. Okay. There's an associate of mine that I used to run with a long while back. Before I managed to, shall we say, secure my position as head of, as heir to the Rockseeker family. He goes by the name of Nesnar, and we had a falling out a while back, because he is not the greatest person, frankly speaking. He is... I have ethical problems with dealing with dark magic. He does not. Shall we just say, put it at that. And thus far, you can see that his, though his what's the word? Demeanor seems less or more serious as he's talking. He does not. Okay, words. When you question him and he looked away. When he looks back, he takes a deep breath. He sits up straight. He puts his hands on the table. Interlaces his fingers, and he seems like he's serious now. As he's talking. And he mentions this man, Nesnar, and his use of black magic, and he says the last thing that he was researching was summoning magic. And I have a feeling he might have just made a breakthrough last night. Suffice it to say, you, 1 second, Dad. Suffice it to say, I do not. You may be in significant danger on the way there. Not particularly. Not particularly.
Well, since you were honest about it, I feel like I've taken the job. But I have to ask, you're heading up to the Sword Mountains. Does this mean you intend on fighting him?
He takes a deep breath and then looks down. I plan on stopping him.
How?
He takes. He's. You say that, he's like, look, just trust me, okay? I will handle everything once we're in Phandalin. Just complete the transport. You'll get paid, and I can I can battle my own demons. Okay.
I mean, forgive my curiosity, but for how dangerous you describe him to be, you're very brave for going after him. What is your plan?
I am a connoisseur of magic items. I can handle myself. I can handle him. What I don't have, and that is why we are going now and quickly.
In that case,
afraid that he is doing something that has a timetable. If he isn't stopped within soonish, something bad is gonna happen.
You see his face kind of go a little pale, and he just nods.
What do you know about him? What is it?
Make me an info check.
I will. $23.
Damn, why are you guys rolling so hot tonight? I don't like this. The secrets.
Because I
The
rolled
damn
like
secrets.
30 low rolls.
Perhaps that's why. Yes. Okay. I don't know the specifics, but he was researching occult things. He was researching possession, and he was researching what lies deep beneath the earth. Even lower, even more deeper than any mind can pierce, deeper than deeper than the bottom of the ocean. The Underdark.
so that's what the explosives are for. You need to get down there.
Something to that effect. Not precisely. But digging, yes.
I have a question, Mr. Rockseeker. If you go and face this guy and you happen to not survive, are we still going to get paid?
Yes, I have an associate in Phandalin that'll cover that. And he seems like offended that you'd ask about that.
I'm satisfied then.
In that case, I'm more than fine taking because the payer The pay I'll take, but stopping somebody from doing evil things, well, that's also important. You have me on board.
That's two. The rest of you?
Oh, you didn't see in chat Michaela already signed the paper
That's.
like a while ago.
I think it makes sense that he did not notice that. He's like, oh, okay. Nice.
Spring is kind of just sitting there, staring at his lap in indecision, because this is a really well-paying job that could set him up for a while, but this is also incredibly dangerous.
And don't worry, you all. I haven't got a chance to really show my stuff, but I'm more than just some random sentient. I'm a trained warrior. I'll be that wall for you all.
Yes.
I'd happily put my trust in that. I have a question. Forgive me, but you've hired us to protect these sticks to get this over there. Because you need to go there fast.
Yes.
You're planning to take on someone you know is dangerous on your own or with the paladin that's out there? Just the two of you?
We have a branch of the Rockseeker family and the Rockseeker business in Phandalin. But not in Neverwinter. This is where I live, this is not where I work.
So there are more people out there to are on the same mission as you are.
To some degree, yes.
Okay. Let me just say this. I can't speak for everyone, but if we end up in Phandalin, we do our job, you get the stuff. I'll stick around, because it sounds like you're gonna have another big job.
You see him kind of smile. Well then. If I'm correct, I was lost for a second. I assume that you were insinuating that he's going to need your help again, right?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm guessing. What I'm guessing is he's gonna need more help once we're there. Because
yes, okay.
honestly, towards Mahina, he kind of sounds like he's sincere, but also kind of stupid. For knowing what he knows and then still risking it all going after him. And I mean, stupid people are good for business.
Nice. You see him smile and appreciate the gesture. And he
Mihana very quickly took away the contract and put another one down that is not magically locked.
Oh!
Interesting.
Okay.
How would you do that?
So, she has some standard-looking contract stuff, like nailed down, and she's forged enough that she has like a backlog.
Okay.
So it's more like if this is gonna be lost in a messy, like the way it was spread on the table, if this is gonna be like just cooked up and like put down in a place somewhere, no one will find out. But she's just very quick sticky-handed about it. It's not it's less like stealing. It's more like just switching.
Sure. Make me go ahead and make me a trickery check. See how
I'll do.
successful you are in attempting this maneuver. Huh. Not expecting to play so many cards tonight. Damn. Okay. I will say you're definitely able to get it done without him noticing. You are not quite certain. Like, it seemed to you that though he might not be, you're not sure whether or not he will notice. But he is a magic man. He does a lot with stuff like that. You get the feeling that if he were to look it over, he would probably be able to tell that something's wrong.
Yeah, that's fair. She can't forge magic. Forge magic.
Yeah. But considering the time restraints and the quick of the draw, the luck of the draw, and we'll say how quick you are, you had just been prepared. You know what? Actually, considering last night he told you there's going to be an escort mission, you kind of just had like a generic contract that was written up for that, and you penciled in some more of the more specific details. Okay, that's reasonable. Yeah. And with that, you seem to take, a sigh of relief as, I think that's everyone writing down, right? Or I guess everyone except for Spring, right? Because remember, Spring, you were saying that.
Yeah, Spring is still just like frozen in indecision.
Do we know any more about this Nesnar guy than this guy already told us? He gave us a lot of information about him, but...
What are all of your guys' masteries in terms of knowledge?
None.
None, okay. Does anyone have any knowledge masteries?
History, occultism.
Nice. Okay, in that case, you can make an occultism check. Does anyone else have any masteries in knowledge?
Nope.
Does cryptography count? It's technically a knowledge trait.
It is a trade, not a knowledge skill. Yeah, so in DC20, knowledge skills are a specific subset. Trade skills are something else.
Based on the question I thought you were asking, I figured it might apply.
No, cryptography would not apply here.
Okay.
And I'm going to assume that Michaela also does not have any.
Nope.
Okay. Let's go ahead and move us all onto the aftermath page. And then. Sorry?
What do you know?
Whatever you just said got garbled. Nope, she's having. If you're asking what you know with the 21, then that is what I'm going to be saying now. You don't need to keep typing. But with a 21, and being that you are from further south than Neverwinter is, and you are a rogue who deals in more different kinds of, or more shady information. Why did you roll again?
That's the roll. The 21 for the switcheroo.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Okay.
The 20 was the roll.
Yes, with a 22. Sorry, let me correct myself. With a 22, let's see. Let me go ahead and check my notes. I'll say you probably have heard of him. You might have even, with who your character is, I think you might have, been on a quest or two to get items that he might have purchased. You would know he seems to be an eclectic man, who is, seems to be very into spiders. And also he seems to be, from what you would know, he seems to have a weird, and both a cult following in the literal sense and the metaphorical sense. Of there like a couple of people that follow him in his worship of spiders. And what else? It seems like he has purchased or hired people to find cursed items frequently. Yeah. That seems legitimate for what you would get with that information, being that this guy is very secretive. Okay. Okay. With that, all that's left is Spring, who is sitting there while everyone else is penciling in their names on the contract. You see him just kind of lean forward a little bit and say, what you thinking about there, Spring? What's on your mind?
Well, I don't normally do this type of work, and it's very dangerous, but the pay is quite a lot.
I've seen you at work. You're pretty good with a bow. I'd you can probably make it work. You do use a bow, right? I don't actually know your build.
I don't know, not currently.
So minor retcon, do whatever weapon you do use.
He says a bow because he sees him throwing weapons and doesn't know what a throwing weapon is.
Yes,
Throwing
Spring currently uses thrown stakes as his only ranged option other
Yes,
than
he
the
just
bowler.
throws arrows, you see.
You're right about the danger. Just run out into the forest. Slime Man here will take care of the problem. Right? If things get too bad.
Look, I will say this. Should you accept the mission, I am expecting you to be willing to put your life on the line to protect my shipment, as it is important that it gets to where it needs to go. I cannot promise your safety. I can promise that you will be handsomely rewarded, and that should you, you know what, just for you, Spring, should you come into great harm along the way, I will be sure to pay any necessary reparations to you or your family for any losses, be they of mind or body, that you may incur. Or be they of life or limb, should you incur them. Effectively, I'm giving you
He's
insurance.
gonna
He's offering you
slowly
life
nod.
insurance.
Yeah, he's gonna slowly nod because that sounds good, even though he doesn't understand at all.
Nice. In that case, do you sign the paper, or does Gundren need to do more convincing?
He'll
I
sign it.
assume all the. Sorry.
What were you saying, Destroy?
All the things he verbally agreed to,
Mhm.
the things he verbally agreed to, are they baked into the contract at this point?
I would say anything that he asked you guys to do is definitely already baked in. Like the final payout of 100 gold, the protecting the caravan. If the caravan is lost, then you will not be paid and you will not be held to secrecy. One moment, my mom is calling me. All right, so I believe the okay. I believe we should be back recording. Okay, yeah. So we were just talking about whether or not the stuff in the contract that you have discussed right now is actually written down. I'm going to say, for the sake of this, we'll say that anything that was discussed right now was magically added to each of your contracts as he kind of like makes one final draft. And then Mahina, of course, swaps it out. Before you guys all sign. And then, yeah, okay. So everything's signed, and you, assuming that with life insurance, agreed upon, Spring signs also, then you, then I think that means everyone is signed, and you're getting ready to be dismissed, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So then, you see him like take breathe a deep sigh of relief as he makes as he copies takes a copy of each of your contracts with him and kind of just like tucks it away somewhere in the desk. And he says, "Well then, my good friends, my new friends, and my new friends, I am excited to work with you now and perhaps in the future. Should I need this kind of business again, you may feel free to see yourselves to the front of the manor, whereupon you may take your pick of one of my items there, one and one only, and Silvar will see you out thereafter. Are we understood?"
Yep.
Okay.
Do I see any other gold baubles or stuff on the way in that I
On the
can
way
steal?
in, I will say
In addition to
no,
that?
you don't. But with your make me an Arcana check. See if you can sense any other magical energies in the area.
With Arcana? We'll see.
So, yep, I went ahead and
I'm gonna
added
say probably not.
Huh. After session, I'm going to talk to you about seeing if we can figure out maybe using Prime for Arcana in the future, just because it's important to your character. But brain thinking. One moment. Okay. Yes. With that roll, we are going to. Yeah, I'm just gonna say that you get the sense that if you explored more of the area, you'd probably be able to find more. But this lower floor seems to be more or less a big room that draws your attention upward, and you're not really supposed to look in the lower floors. If there was like a gallows or something, you get the sense that he would lead people upstairs as opposed to leading them down.
Gotcha.
These are more like the servants' quarter areas.
I see.
Yeah. So, he will direct all of you out. I see that Michaela said she would like to stay a minute to talk to him. Is there anything else anyone is going to do before they are led to the front by Silvar?
I can't think of anything, no.
I think Mihana would like love to kind of stay a little bit and
Your audio
listen
was
to
garbled.
part of the.
Your audio is garbled. Say that again.
Oh. Mihana wants to hang back a little bit and listen a little bit to this conversation. Not really actively participating and also not really eavesdropping, more like just standing there observing. Being part of the furniture.
Nice.
Oh yeah, can I eavesdrop too?
Make me a stealth check.
Spring will thankfully not be eavesdropping because he doesn't want to get scared out of this deal with any more terrifying details being revealed.
Ooh. Okay, 12.
Also 12. You know what? Let's roll him an awareness check. I wonder if there's a way that I can roll it secretly so that the YouTube does not see what I roll, because the secret roll for the DM still seems to roll to me. Which is a little bit annoying. You know what? Perhaps the audience just has the ability to see beyond the veil. The players do not. So, okay. Thinking. With a 12, you guys feel you are relatively well hidden, as you attempt to eavesdrop on this conversation. Michaela, what is it that you wish to speak with Gundren about?
Yeah, it's actually nothing that's a secret. Like, these people don't need to be stealthy.
Nice. That's how I do
She is just going to be asking, well, she's just going to start off with, you know, I signed the papers straight on. I didn't need any of this pay ahead stuff. I just want the money at the end. So I don't really need this relic that you're providing. But perhaps if you were to give us something, I could give you something back. You said you work in magical items, correct? Perhaps you have some sort of illusionary item to help protect us from potential attackers getting hold of explosives. I wish to ask you as well the details about the escort, just so we can perhaps plan around disguising as we're escorting maybe food to Phandalin. So if any attackers come, they'll steal that and not know about the explosives. That's why I asked about illusion, to hide the explosives.
I see. I'm actually 7 steps ahead of you on that one. And he kind of chuckles.
Wonderful.
There are 3 carts that you will be escorting. And he makes sure to speak up loud when he says this. The first one is the first one will contain just actually let me check this actually, so I don't lie and have to retcon things in my notes later. Inside the first cart contains empty chests and mine carts, and stuff to store ore and grains. It also contains a false bottom, wherein beneath the floor of the cart there will be the explosives that I'm talking about. The second cart is going to contain a variety of foodstuffs and rations that are fit for a mining trip, and it's going to look to be the most secure, as that'll be, you know, one would assume that foodstuffs would be what bandits are looking for. Bandits, and then the last one will contain mining equipment, pickaxes, pythons, ropes, torches, lamps, mining gear. So, right, the way that I thought this out, right, is the one you are banded, right? The easiest thing to take is the thing that's in the back, right? So that'll be the thing that I'm okay with losing the most. And that's the thing they're going to probably is going to be the most useful to a gang of bandits. You know, I imagine mining equipment is good for, you know, setting up camp and stuff like that. Then in the second cart, right, you have food and things, and that's going to be in the center. And you know, you would think as a smart person, you put the thing that's the most important in the center, so it's most defended on either side. And the one in front is the one that has magic arcane false bottom. It's the one that is next to where all of you guys are, so that one's actually going to be the most defended. Prioritize defending that one more than anything, because that is the one that actually has the bounty. Right?
Got it. You also said that there's going to be some miners coming with us. Is this true? And how many?
Oh yeah. I didn't actually set a specific number on that. You mentioned one moment while I think of what I said before. Did he say how many were coming, or did he just say there will be miners coming with you guys?
Just miners.
There'll probably be maybe 5 or so, just to make sure that everything is in order when you leave and when you arrive, and you're not missing anything. Just enough to, if there are too many of them, then it risks being a liability. Like I said, this is a high stakes escort mission. But they are able to handle themselves well enough. I don't expect them to I expect them to be able to defend the cart should you guys fall, if that makes sense. They're a backup plan.
Very well. Thanks for the information.
No problem.
I guess I'll go off and begin preparations.
Good.
See you in Phandalin.
And you, madam. He dips his hat. Oh, will you be taking something or no?
Oh, I don't need any of that.
You see, he smiles. And waves.
And she leaves as well.
And those of you who are eavesdropping, you see him just kind of give a, he just like loudly clears his throat, like, and then begins to collect the papers on the desk. He definitely saw through your self checks. So, outside, Silbar leads Awake and Spring, who are the first out, and he's just like, yes, follow me. And he leads you to the front of the area where there are, 15 or so items that are displayed. And they look to be all pieces of jewelry that are on like the busts of mannequins. They range from necklaces to earrings. One of them is like a full-on what's the word for what I'm looking for? A piece of, it's like, man, words fail me, but we'll just say that it is a very nice looking shirt. Until I remember the word. But yeah. I would like you all to roll me 1d6. And let me know if there is a specific kind of magic item that you would be looking for. Or if not, then we will just go with the d6 roll.
Ooh, 2. I mean, I'm pretty much. I'm mostly looking for one-handed weapons or. That's pretty much all.
You basically see no weapons at all here in the selection.
Okay.
What kind of stuff is in the selection?
Yeah.
Like, what are some of the options if weapons is not it?
Yeah, sure. Let me go ahead and put up the thingamabobber. Um, there's a selection of like elemental defense items, like ruby, sapphire, topaz, stuff like that give you resistance 1 to the related damage type. There are a couple of them that seem to contain magic in them and allow you to cast a spell even if you're not magical. And there are, let's see, what else is there on this list? And there are a couple that seem to just be like physical enhancements. Like they make you more agile or more mighty or etc. etc. Those are the default options. If there's a specific kind of item you'd like to see, let me know. We can talk about it. But yeah, awake with your 2. You gain a necklace of. Let me find it. You gain a necklace of psychic resistance. Spring. I will say you find anklets that seem to have the will of the wind inside of them. That raise your agility saving throw by 1.
You went way quiet at that.
Sorry,
Can you?
they are anklets of the wind that increase your agility save by 1. So whatever your agility save is, increase your agility save by 1. Yes, thank you. And did you hear yours awake? Is awake? Jaku?
Oh, for some reason I was muted. You know, I'm here. I got the necklace.
Okay. Michaela, Mahina, and Tony.
I probably would be interested in something that casts a spell.
Okay.
But what spells are there?
From the selection, there is Frostbolt, Firebolt, and Lightning Bolt, as well as one that seems to be more. There's one that seems to be more like a tiara kind of thing. That does not. It doesn't seem. You're a treasure hunter. You know how magic items tend to look. It doesn't seem as sustained. Like you can sense the magic in it is not. Though it has more magic, it is more like a battery as opposed to like a generator. And you get the sense that it has a limited number of casts. But there is one of them that has a Shield of Faith spell. This diamond tiara.
Ooh. Shield of Faith is tempting.
Indeed. And if you do not know what you want, feel free to roll a d6.
If not, is there a physical prowess that is not like strength save? Like I don't know, +1 damage kind of thing? Is there anything like that?
Not that you can see.
Okay. So the physical prowess ones are probably just saving throw things?
That's correct.
From what I can ascertain using my jewelry skills. Okay. Yeah, then Shield of Faith is a great find.
Okay.
What of the one that I already mixed?
As you look around and see the thing where it was, that one seems to have been a ruby necklace of firebolt.
Nice.
Indeed. That said, what was your trickery check before? Do you remember?
No, I have no idea.
I feel like it was pretty high.
I rolled so many times. It was very high.
Yeah. I feel like it was like at least 17, right?
Yeah. In the last 1, 2, 3, 4, I rolled 18, 13, 18, and 3. And it wasn't the most recent one, so it wasn't the 3.
It was definitely way higher than that.
Yes.
Let's see.
And trickery would have been a +1, so it was probably a 14 or a 19.
I think it was like 17.
Or wait, hold on. No, it wasn't. It wasn't in the last 4, I think. It probably was a 16 because I see a 15 recently as well.
Okay. Based on what I just rolled, I don't think that he notices. So, your thievery remains a secret.
Nice. So the second, so one was the ruby necklace with firebolt, and the other one had shield of faith, and was it you say diamonds necklace?
Yes. Diamond tiara.
Gotcha.
That said, if you guys don't know what you want, Mahina and Black Cat, please just roll me 86.
Oh, I want the shield of faith one.
Okay. Naturally, the only girl in the party is one that is taking the longest time to think.
Yeah, no, I was thinking of the tiara and all, but it's fine.
Oh.
I'll give it a chance. I'll roll.
Okay.
I am interested though in either some of the artifacts that make you cast a spell or the ones that give you resistance to any. Those are the two categories I'm interested in.
Alright. Give me the roll.
6.
With a 6.
Of course, it's a net
The
6.
necklace that you end up picking is we're gonna say it is a pair of quartz earrings that give you resistance 1 to bludgeoning damage. There you go. And with that, you see Silbar just kind of like looking concerned at all you guys. You're just like taking things, and he's just like, oh, whatever. And then he once everybody has their thing, they lead. He's like, okay then, if you're all done, please exit the building and prepare to leave by tomorrow morning. And
good.
I have one more.
Will do.
You
I'm
have
pretty much. Oh, sorry.
Do you perhaps have any simple clothing just to make us all seem more like travelers or traders than anything?
not on hand, but if you head over to the barracks, I'm sure the guards would be, have, like, spare uniforms. Or are you looking for... If you're looking for just simple clothing, I'm sure you have enough money to cover whatever purchases you would need to make.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Indeed you will.
Thanks anyway.
Before you leave, one final thing. My friend, Gundren, is a very trusting man, and he is one who, he's a very trusting man who believes in anyone... Let me rephrase. My friend Gundren is a very trusting man who places a lot of value on acts of heroism and the value of gold. I, in my many, many years, have seen how little that means. Should this mission end in failure, or rather, should you cheat him out of his, should you, what would it say? Should I discover that you have wronged my good friend, in the course of this mission, know that I do not take kindly to thieves. I do not, thieves, and I take even less kindly to liars. So, I will place my faith in my friend and trust that whatever comes of this business deal will be for the best. But there will be consequences if you have betrayed his trust. Is that understood?
I have no intention of doing anything against him. He's trying to stop someone evil, and I very much support that. So I'm willing to fight for what's right.
Then you had better not let your intentions change. And just gives a curt nod and closes the door to the building. And with that, if you guys would like to call the session here, that's fine with me. We can say that you guys all do whatever purchasing of goods you need to do, and we will begin next session with that having taken care of, and you guys ready to depart. Sound good?
That would probably be best. I gotta go. I gotta. Yeah, that would be best.
Okay. In that case,
Yes, please.
I have been the DM, Lord Gob. Everyone else, please say goodbye, and then I will end the recording.
Goodbye,
This is
Chad.
Jaku. Woohoo!
Oh.
Very nice.
Bye,
See
everyone.
you next time.
There we go.